Explain better some of the things I've been talking about to some of my Bujinkan friends. A lot of people have mistakenly thought that I am anti-Bujinkan, which is not true. I would not have been training in it since 1982, constantly until now, if I was anti-Bujinkan. I think it's highly functional. What I don't think is functional is the training method that I see all the time, everywhere, especially in Japan. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a different art, Kali, Eskrima, or artist. They have two basic types of training methods. One's called the basic dario, which basically means ABCs or alphabet. The other one's called contra e contra, or sembrata, sometimes they sound lineage. Now what this means is counter for counter. Now what is a basic dario? A basic dario is, like, let's say we were doing, you stand right here, it's right there. Let's say we were using boxing as an example. We're doing a basic dario. So he's going to jab at me, and I'm going to catch it. This is called catch the jab. That's called parry outside. That's called parry inside. That's called smack down on a jab. Okay? So you have like a few things you do. He jabs again. I could slip, or I could inside slip. These are all individual techniques. If he jabs me, and I do this, he goes back out, come in and jab, back out, come in and jab. This is a basic scenario. This is teaching you how to practice the jab catch. Okay? Stop. And we're going to do that over and over again. Now you can do it very slowly in the beginning if you don't know it, right? You're just learning it. And you can adjust the intensity depending on the skill of the person. It's still a basic dario. Now if I said to him, I want you to give me two jabs and a cross, and again. So I'm practicing, back up. I'm going to practice catching the jab, let's say shoulder roll. Stop. It's still a basic dario training. If I say jab, cross, leg kick, stop. Still a basic dario. Because I am defining what he's doing to me. I'm saying, do this to me. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches, it don't matter. It's set up. And it's necessary. It's a required first step. And as a matter of fact, you go back to it the rest of your life in training. It's how you polish your techniques. That alone will not give you the skill required to pull it off live. To pull something off live, you need timing, tactile sensitivity, visual sensitivity, or visual acuity. You need all these things: stamina, the ability to generate force, which Bujinkan people are not talking about muscular straining. I've seen somebody make a video about some arts talk about muscle tension and stuff. I don't know what arts this guy's looking at, but any art I've ever studied, they'll talk about tightening your muscles. So we're not talking about muscular tension. We're talking about the ability to produce force. If you can't hurt the person with a punch or a kick, and you kick them and punch them, you're in la-la land. So, the next kind of training is called contra e contra, or sembrata. So it's counter for counter. So, let's say he's here, you're going to jab me, I'm going to catch, and then I'm going to jab you and you catch. Good, go back for 1, 2, then you got to wait for me to jab you, right? See? You see the timing, right? He was expecting it as a drill. So just as simple as that. See how I'm adjusting the rhythm of it? Right? That's beginning stage of like a counter for counter drill. It goes beyond that. But the point is, instead of him punching, say, holding it out there, staying there, while I do all this work, whatever I'm going to do, and he's standing there frozen, if that's the only kind of training you do, which is the only kind of training you see in Japan, and in a lot of these Japanophile dojos, you're not going to have the requirements. As a matter of fact, if you just do counter for counter and this, you're still not going to have it. Now you got to get into randori. Otherwise, you do not have usable skill real time against skilled opponents, be they martial artists or street fighters. If you think you do, if you think you can train the way they train in Japan only, and you can pull off your techniques, come show me. Don't type it on a keyboard. Come show me. And if I'm wrong, we'll put it on the internet, and you can show everybody how I'm wrong. But until then, you're just a keyboard warrior. We don't want to be a keyboard warrior. So come back. Now, if I'm an Ichimonji, and he does the lunge punch, try it again. Back up a little bit more. He does the lunge punch, and I do my Joranuke. I come in, I do a little Pushuto. That's your basic Ichimonji concept, right? If that's all you do, that's a basic Dario training. And it's required. You have to do step-by-step of Dario. He has to punch, hold, lunge punch, hold the arm out there, allow me to get my angles right, allow me to get all that stuff right. You have to do it, yes. But you gotta move past it. You gotta go for counter. So for example, what if you punch me? The lunge punch, always lunge punch. Boom, right? I start to go in for the emote shuto, but he hits me with the other hand. You have to be able to pick it up. So there's a little bit of counter for counter. He doesn't tell me what he's going to do. That's the next step. Then the next step after that is, he punches me. I come here, he punches me with the other hand. But then, as I go in to do whatever I'm going to do, he counters me again. So I have to pick up the technique and keep going from there. This is the beginning of counter training. You need that in your progression or you won't get usable skill. Does that make sense? What I see though all the time is stuff like this. Right hand punch. You step to the side. He's just staying there to bring his balance. You do your technique. Roll on your elbow so your arm will break. Okay. And they do stuff. You practice it a couple times and they go, okay, next. Step aside, you say, well, what if? What if I go this way now? And I do this. Practice that a few times. And then you do something else. And you say, well, what if this and what if that? And all you have is 100 what ifs. And you can't do any of them under pressure. That is not the way to train to get skill. So if you train like that, you need a reality check. You really need to ask yourself some questions. And if you see people training like that, they have Asian eyes, just because they have Asian eyes doesn't mean they know what they're talking about or that they're any good. So I know that's going to piss off a lot of people, and I don't really care. I care about trying to help people get better at the art. People put Bujinkan martial arts videos all over the internet, and they laugh at them. People who train for real. People who do wrestling, grappling, kickboxing, karate, taekwondo, who actually spar, they laugh at the Bujinkan. Because they see all this fanciful crap that everybody does. If you like to dress up in historical garb and reenact things that you don't even know what they look like, you're told that they look like that, we don't have no record that they look like that, but if that's what you want to do on your Sundays and Thursdays, that's fine. But if you do that and you think that you're gaining usable skill, that's the problem I have. So to repeat that, if you want to lark, and you want to do cosplay, and you're no interest in fighting, I'm okay with that. I don't care. It's not even on my radar. My radar is people who want to be able to use this for real, who do that. Because it's not going to help them get what they want. Does that make sense? So if this sparks any questions, I'll take any questions you have. That's about it.